7.
Who's our first?
She's at
James.
7:15, isn't she?
It's coming at 7:15.
Yeah, we're going to
Oh,
discuss.
7:15, okay.
So we can figure out who's going to ask what questions and that kind of thing.
Okay.
Okay, I want to call this meeting to order for the interviewing of our city council appointment to the Greencastle Community School Board. So, Melanie, will you take the roll?
Yes, so if you all remember at holiday time, we announced our favorite candy. When I call your name this evening, tell me what your favorite summer activity is that you're looking forward to. Counselor Aguirre?
Present and family walk/hikes.
Love it. Counselor Asbell?
Pool time.
Counselor
That's
Langdon?
it.
Thinking like family, Memorial Day, 4th of July, backyard cookouts, that kind of thing.
Wonderful, with America's 250th birthday. Okay.
Yeah.
And Counselor Hammer?
Here and be camping.
Wonderful. Okay. Thank you all.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, so before our first candidate comes in about 15 minutes, 13 minutes, or whatever, I just wanted to get your feel. We have these five questions we have used at least once before, maybe not twice.
And we don't have to use these again.
We don't have to use these,
but
or
we
we can
put them
modify them.
together as a group, so I
Right.
thought, well, it's a good
Yeah.
starting point, you know.
So does anybody have a question? The problem is we have an incumbent, and that, you can ask the incumbent much broader questions, I think, than you can somebody that's not had the experience. So, but does anybody have a burning question that they want to ask, either one or both of the candidates?
I had sent one last minute over to Stacy, kind of a two-part question of what are Greencastle Schools' biggest strengths? And then as a follow-up, what are Greencastle Schools' biggest challenges ahead of them? I feel like that's, you could do
That's a
some
good one.
research to be prepared for that, even if you're not an incumbent.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that.
Well, and
Yep.
Ed mentioned in interviews in the past, we've always talked about chain of command, but it's not here in one of these 5.
Right.
So I thought when my question time comes up, I can ask about that.
Okay.
If an issue arises and you are confronted in a public place, as a school board member, what steps would you take to address it?
Okay.
So I can add that one to the list.
All right, there we go. All right. And
I think
Kathy?
something that I would like to know is how can we attract teachers to want to come to Greencastle and teach and be in this community? How can we attract some talent? Exactly.
Yeah.
But how can we attract them? Yeah.
And I don't know, I've never met James,
No, me neither.
so I don't know if we're going to say, hey, can give us a 2-minute, or just introduce yourself and tell us a little about you or whatever.
he's got a pretty,
Oh, I know, I read his
pretty- yeah.
resume.
Yeah, it's-
Greencastle grad, I believe, wasn't he?
both of them, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he specifically moved back into the school corporation district to send his kids to Greencastle schools from South
Nice.
Putnam.
I love that.
So, okay. We don't have on here, but we always seem to eventually get there, with elected versus appointed school boards. Would you be supportive of, one or the other, keeping it as is, or going to an elected school board? We don't have to ask that.
I think that's a good question.
Yeah, and, it seems like we touch on it, but we never have anybody really follow up, and that is,
That's,
can we get somebody to report back to us from the school board, at least annually, if not maybe
Yeah.
twice a year?
Because
Maybe
it's
each
always-
candidate.
They are scheduled to come in July.
Oh, they are?
We're
Okay.
going to come in June,
Okay.
but Catherine Dory has a commitment.
Okay.
So we bounced it to July.
Okay,
maybe that's something that.
Yeah.
okay, so good.
So we
because
have
it
them
is
on the
planned.
schedule.
Okay,
Yep.
good, all right.
Yeah, and ideally every 6 months they come, but at least
Right.
at the end
At
of the
least-
school year.
at least
you know?
once a year, yeah.
Or beginning of the school year. Yeah,
Yeah.
but they are
Between school
slated
years.
in July.
Okay,
I think too that topic always comes up during the election season, but I do feel like we need to keep talking about it more.
because we are one very unique situation.
4?
Yeah, one of 4, one of 6, whatever, it's not very many.
Yeah.
So, okay. I had some specific questions that I wrote down for Megan, similar to what you had, which was, what's the biggest challenge for the school corporation in the next 4 years?
Yeah.
What do you feel like your biggest accomplishment while on the board, and what's your biggest disappointment while on the board? So that's kind of strengths and weaknesses. But I don't think that's, I guess we could ask, we could ask Jim, I think he's sitting outside. We could ask him, what do you feel like is the biggest challenge? And we have 5 questions, but we could burn through those and it's like, okay, here we are, and say, okay, thanks for coming and everything else. And we're sitting here for, 8 minutes waiting for Megan to show up.
Which is no big deal, give
Or
us
we
a chance to
or we may
debrief
go
a
over a little
little.
bit and she'll sit out there and wait for us to
She
call
said
her.
she'd wait out in her car till, I put the fear into her, till 7:45.
I'd say if we want to add to the queue, if we have extra time, going off Counselor Asbell's question about teachers, maybe the same thing about students, especially as we're seeing an enrollment cliff across the country. If they have thoughts on how we can get students to come here.
Yeah,
Yeah.
agree.
Or how do we,
Yeah.
because there's a big contingent of people that are homeschooled.
Yeah.
There was one family that moved out of my neighborhood just recently. Had 5 kids and 4 of them were homeschooled.
Yeah.
And the 5th one wasn't because tiny.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they moved to Georgia, and I'm sure they're homeschooling down in Georgia.
Yep.
So, but it's like, wow.
That's so much funding that could be in the schools.
Yeah, I mean, there's,
Ed, don't they have online classes where they're tied to you, but they don't physically come? Correct. That's why, because I know Cloverdale does, and then we get tax dollars for that, right? Because they're tied to our school district? I'm not real familiar with how that works. Okay, yeah.
Now, Cloverdale has a special situation because they are the online school, so they get a lot of the funding.
I know they talk
I would
about it a
imagine we
lot.
don't get as much if we do.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I can go get James. I've been the one interacting with him, so I can introduce myself
Is
and
there
bring him
anything
in if you guys are ready.
is there anything else that the other 3 or of you can think of before we bring James in? And got 7 minutes still.
Do we know
7:15.
which questions we're asking? Did you
Okay.
assign us? Do you want to assign us?
Does anybody, of these 5 questions here, do we want to ask all those? And I think they're good questions.
Yeah, time permitting, or,
So,
yeah.
and then go into the other ones that have been brought up this evening and everything. That gives probably about, everybody gets 2 questions that way. Who wants to, well, at least since there's only 4 of us. So, who wants to go with number 1, number 2, 3, and 4, and 5?
I can start it off with number 1 if you want.
Okay. Sure. Vince, you got a burning one that you want of those 5 there?
Not necessarily. I'm happy to go with number 2.
Okay.
Yeah, I can do number 3.
Okay, I guess I'll do number 4, and then we'll figure out who does number 5.
I like it. All right. I'll go introduce myself and bring him in. Are we ready?
Yep, I think so.
Melanie didn't bring any snacks or any pizza.
The next time Melanie covers a meeting, we'll be set.
Pizza and ice cream.
Yes.
Oh,
We
wow.
did have a build-your-own ice cream, a sundae bar yesterday.
Here at City Hall?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
Oh,
Yes.
We're gonna pull a seat up and have him sit.
The podium. Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And tomorrow is popcorn day. Scott asked me if we could have popcorns.
all right. I'll see you tomorrow.
Okay, stop in.
Actually, I'm out of town tomorrow. Shoot.
Oh,
Yep. Save me some.
okay.
Are you having all the sprinkles, the shaker?
No, I went to Headley's and just, because we have a little popcorn popper.
I thought you
And
did.
you can get the oil packet and the popcorn and seasoning all together.
Yeah.
Yeah. And we still have ice cream and toppings left, so they can have both if they'd like.
Popcorn and their ice cream.
You just never know, right?
You never know. I like chocolate in my popcorn. You ever tried
yeah.
that?
Popcorn.
That's really good.
So good.
Yes.
Like the box of Crunch you can get at a movie theater. Dump that in. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Or some Skittles.
Moose Munch. I like the Moose Munch.
Yes.
This is Vince,
James, nice to meet you.
and Melanie's here.
Deputy Clerk, nice to meet you.
James Sprinkle.
Mark Hammer.
Nice to meet you.
Hi,
too.
Kathy Asfeld.
Nice to meet you, James.
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, you can stand in front of the sign that says
I
clean
haven't been on one of
community.
these since, I was a recruiter. Oh, man.
Well, you have a great experience.
Brings back memories,
It
right?
does. Only I don't have a bunch of college kids standing in front of me, you know.
Yeah. Well, thanks for coming in this evening. And
Thanks for
I know
having
we're
me.
running a few minutes ahead, but they may give us a little bit extra time if we need it.
Yeah.
Or if you need it.
Oh, yeah, sure.
So, so we're going to just ask some questions and just give us feedback and.
Okay.
And we've got just 2 candidates tonight, and so we're going to try to make a decision probably before the evening's out.
Okay, I appreciate that.
Okay? All right?
Yeah.
So,
I'm going to start us off. We are well aware that most townships, most cities have elected school officials, okay?
Yeah.
But we have been tasked with this responsibility, so it's we have 2 representatives on the school board, so it's something that we take very seriously.
Okay.
So, yeah, I'll go ahead and answer the first question.
All righty.
James?
Yes.
In your view, what are a school board's members' roles and responsibilities? What should they be doing in that role, in your opinion?
So my opinion and my view on that is so I know Greencastle's unique in that we have the Board of Trustees, but I believe that they govern the financial aspects of the school, and they oversee the overall direction of the school corporation. My belief is they're not a micromanager of the superintendent, teachers. That's not their role. That's why we have a superintendent, principals, all that stuff. I believe the school board decides on the projection and the trajectory of the school corporation in a whole as an entity. And since Greencastle answers to the city council, then to relay any information and guidance to them if needed. I believe that Greencastle is really unique. I don't know if you saw one of my letters of recommendation from Mrs. Adams over in Clay County. But I like the fact that Greencastle the Board of Trustees is afforded, they're kind of go-between. So they're in between the superintendent, the teachers, and the city council, and they get a unique where they can review the policies, make the policies, and enforce the policies, but they don't directly affect the teachers. That's the superintendent. I know I talked with Miss Adams, and sometimes with an elected school board, they have outside influence of parents on the school members or the board members. Greencastle doesn't really have that, in my opinion. It's up to the trustees on the board to make decisions. They're not influenced by a parent or anything like that. They're appointed by you guys. And then also, I interviewed for one of the vacant spots, and that was selected by the actual Board of Trustees. So I kind of like that aspect that it's not voted on, because there's not that outside influence of parents and all that. So I think the school board's main purpose is the projection, financial responsibilities, and growth of the community and its facilities.
Yeah, and we have 2 appointments, and Greencastle Township has 2 appointments.
Yeah.
And I don't know what the one you interviewed for may have been.
I believe it was
Probably Greencastle Township.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, and then Madison Township has 1 appointment. So, but then when there's a vacancy midterm, that's
Yeah.
when the school corporation, the school board votes on the.
It was the one that I interviewed for was the one that Jimmy Beasley was selected for.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Yes?
So I'm going to go next. Thanks for being with us, and thanks for applying and wanting to give back to the community. I appreciate anyone who does that. So this question is, what unique values do you bring to the school board? And in other words, what skills or experiences would set you apart from the other candidate we're interviewing tonight?
So, that's a tough one, because I'm not one that talks about himself in those aspects. For me, I think it's my experience. So like my resume and my cover letter, I believe, said, I was in the Marine Corps. I work at the federal prison. Being a Marine Corps recruiter, that gave me the opportunity to be inside high schools. I was constantly inside high schools talking to teachers and administrators and kids and parents as well. Some received me nicely and some didn't. But as far as the aspect of it, I think I can bring a variety of tools, experience, and knowledge that is kind of outside the box. So I didn't go to college. I knew that wasn't for me. So I know there's kids out there that think that. I can kind of relate to them. As far as, being personable, approachable, I feel that I can actually provide that to not just students, but staff, administrators. I like to talk with people. I like to get to know people. I'm physically responsible at the prison. I'm a purchase card holder, so I deal with budgets, dealing with contractors and government policies, procedures. I have to document stuff. So there's that experience. I was also a timekeeper, so I was trusted with keeping staff time. So I feel I'm very trustworthy. I can work with a team really well. That's proven throughout my whole life in sports, Marine Corps, and I'm also able to work by myself if given a task, and I don't have to be supervised. I'm also very consistent, and I like to learn policy. One thing at the prison when I was getting my paperwork ready for this, I asked one of the guys I work with. I said, "Hey, I don't talk about myself at all. Like, I'm not humble, but I just, it's wrong for me to do that. I don't know some people's opinions of that. But I asked him, I said, what do you think is my best quality? And he was like, well, you're very consistent and you know policy. We come to you all the time for, policy and as far as, hey, what can inmates do? What can inmates not do? So I believe I bring, reliability, trustworthy, physical responsibility, leadership. I can take charge of things, and I think outside the box. I don't look for the easiest common answer. If we get stumped, I look outside the box to see if there's something else. And I also listen to team members. Somebody might have a better idea than I do. So I think that's what I can bring. Just in general, all that. Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for coming tonight.
Yeah.
Appreciate you. So in our schools, the teachers love it when our school board members are visible and come into the schools and come and see what they're doing in the classrooms, come to extracurricular events. How do you feel about that? And then what are you going to do? What is your plan to be more engaged in the schools?
That's a very good question because I love being in the school. So my youngest, he's in 3rd grade now, going into 4th grade. I've been in the school since he's been at Greencastle. I was in Deer Meadow. I helped out in all of his classes, kindergarten, 1st, 2nd, and 3rd grade this year. When my 2 oldest went to South Putnam, I went to their school. I helped out in their class all day long. I think, in my opinion, not just board members, but parents need to get more involved in the schools, not just so they can be there with their kid and see what they're learning and all that stuff, but it's good for them to see the school corporation in a whole and how it operates. So I'm very, very pro being in the school, board member or parent. I'm really in favor of that. And as far as what I'm going to do in the future or as a board member, I'm going to keep doing what I do. I go to all the kids' sports. I'm in the school as much as possible. I chaperone field trips. I was even upset that they didn't allow me to do the 8th grade trip to Holiday World. So I'll just keep continuing doing that. We go to football games every Friday night, home games. We try to catch some of the away games, baseball, basketball. My job at the prison, my schedule is very non-orthodox schedule, so I try to work around that. But whenever we're free, we go to the sporting events, and I'll keep continuing to do that because I love it.
Can I ask a part 2
Yeah.
question to
You
this?
sure can.
'Cause it made me think of something else.
Yeah.
You had mentioned that it's important for just not only you, but for parents to get involved. So how can you do that in our community? Because you're right, we do need to get more parents involved. So how could you, as a board member, facilitate that?
Well, so I would talk to parents at sporting events. I would start with people I know and be like, hey, Have you asked your principal to go into the kids' class and just be there and just ask the teacher what they need? I would talk with the other school board members to see if there's something that we can do, maybe like a Parents' Day, where parents can sign up and you can come and you can be in the class, or you can help out at lunchtime, or tour the school or something like that. A lot of parents that I found being in the classes, they don't know that you can do that. They just think, hey, my kid's at school, I'd like to go help in the class. Well, it all became with me like I wanted to be with my kid. So if he's at school all day and I'm off that day because I have a weird schedule, I'd rather be in his class all day. So when, at South I did it, and for both the Colton and Kaylee, and then I've done it K through 3, like I said. So I would try and work with the school board, see if there's, I haven't reviewed all the school policies, I'll tell you that now. I looked at some, but I haven't memorized them. But if it's not against policy, I'd look at trying to incorporate something like that to get parents involved. Because a lot of them don't know that you can go and spend the day in your, if the principal's good with it, in your kid's class. And a lot of them show up for like the Valentine's Day parties that parents don't know they can come to. A lot of them work, so that's an issue. But that's what I try and do. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. James, appreciate you coming in this evening. I also, we have a couple of board members that are missing. One's on gone and vacation. One just recently passed away, and another one is not here this evening. So
sorry for that.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we usually have 7 members. You only got 4 of us tonight. I was hoping we'd have at least 5, but I knew we wouldn't have.
Stacy communicated to me. I was like, man, 7 people? That's whew. I don't know if that's worse than the high schoolers.
So, as we look to the future, what is your vision for the school corporation, and specifically what strengths and weaknesses or challenges, maybe that might be the best way to phrase it, would be what strengths and challenges are ahead of the school corporation in the next few years?
Well, I know I just saw that Governor Braun signed that phone thing, so I think that's been taken care of as far as the distractions in class with the phones, social media. Being in the classes, I talk with my teenagers a lot. They've had some issues. We talked with the principals and stuff like that. And being in the school, I think one of the biggest challenges, it's kind of, there's not one single thing. As far as like what's affecting the students, and I think the teachers and administration has to deal with, is more so the social media, the bullying, issues like that. But one thing that I found that kind of took me back was Greencastle has a problem with students leaving and going to other schools. I know of 2 kids this year that are transferring to South. They K through 3rd grade, they've been at Greencastle, and then all of a sudden, hey, we're done, we're going to South Putt. So I think the biggest, I don't know what the board has going on as far as like issues. I don't, but being in the classes, talking to administrators, teachers mainly, it's probably kids leaving other schools. So I try and find out why. Why do we have kids that live in Greencastle going to South or North or even Cloverdale? So I'd look at that, and I think that's my opinion, not knowing behind the door, but I think that's our biggest concern right now is the loss of students. I love Greencastle. Even when I was at South, I hated wearing the red, white, and blue for South. I mean, I love wearing red, white, and blue, but it was for South. My wife wouldn't let me move to Greencastle because we lived right across the street from South Putt. I get it, but I think it's students, the exodus of students that are going to these other schools. We need to find out why. Talk with the parents. Hey, why are you pulling your kid? Address that issue. If it's the bullying, if it's teachers, if it's curriculum, then we take a hard look at it and we say, okay, well, what can we do to fix it? I know the board does a really good good thing being approachable, being seen. Mr. Wilson here, I know him personally. Our daughters are friends and stuff, but I consider him a friend, but I see him everywhere, and I talk to him all the time. At football games, I go up and talk to him. So I think talking to parents about why they're leaving is, in my opinion, the biggest concern right now. But like I said, I don't know any higher up problems they have. But being in the schools, talking to kids, talking to teachers, knowing parents that have moved their kids, they've cited multiple reasons. So I think we just need to look at that, address it, and then find out a solution. I hope that answered your question.
Yeah. Kathy, you have kind of a follow-up that you wanted to ask.
Well, yeah, so is that kind of is that your vision then, attracting more students to our corporation?
My vision with yes and no. I think one of the things that Greencastle, and like I said, I don't know behind the curtains, but I think one of the things that Greencastle faults on is the fact that why are we not hosting events, athletic events? We have all these new facilities now. We have, fields out at Big Walnut that the city has. Why are we not hosting AAU tournaments and drawing in crowds to Greencastle to be, hey, this is Greencastle School Corporation. You know what? I do want my kid to go here. Hey, this is a great town to live in. If I could use Mr. Is it Aguirre? Aguirre. If I could use him as an example, in his, I think it was the bio, or maybe it was the write-up Mr. Wheeler wrote, you came to Greencastle because you loved the small town. I think the problem is that we don't bring in a lot of people from outside unless you're homegrown. So if we can bring people in on athletic events and they can see our facilities that the school spent a lot of money on, I think that would draw interest and people in.
So then, to bounce off that, then
Yeah.
how about bringing teachers in? How are we going to bring teachers in and retain them? Because we have teachers going to other districts now, so how are we going to bring more teachers into our community?
Well, so without knowing the specifics, I would ask why they're leaving. Are they leaving because of pay? Are they leaving because of administration and, how they're treated? Why are teachers leaving the same as students? We have such a great community here. We have a great school and a great facilities. I mean, they've done amazing. So I think that the question would be is why? I mean, if teachers are leaving to Avon or Monrovia or whatever, are they leaving because of pay? Are they leaving because of benefits? Or is it because they might have a principal or assistant principal that's can't manage staff? I don't know why teachers leave, but as far as getting teachers in, I think with the athletics, that might help too. Inviting teachers in. Or here's something we do, and this is, I don't want to use this example, but I got to because I'm a trenches kind of guy. The thing we do with inmates is we do job fairs. So we do mock job fairs with them. Have we done a mock job fair at Purdue, IU, ISU for their teaching classes? Saying, hey, look, you're looking at a teaching job. Greencastle's a great community. We have a great school. We have all these benefits. Why don't you come to Greencastle? Why don't you teach for Greencastle? That's what that would be my solution, was to try and go to job fairs and, just reach out to some of these young kids that are graduating college with teaching degrees and starting their life. I mean, the cost of living around here is, in my opinion, pretty good. We have enough housing with new apartments and all that stuff that they should be able to, find a spot. I love Greencastle, so I think that, if we could reach out to them and show them what we offer, and then I can't say a lot, I misspoke, but I think teachers also have kids in sports. So it goes back to my idea of why are we not doing athletic events and using these facilities? we have these, that would also, maybe, some mom comes in or dad and they're like, my gosh, Greencastle is amazing. I want to go teach there. But I think the first thing to do would be to ask, why are teachers leaving? Do a ground level assessment. Why are teachers leaving? You can do an anonymous. You can send it out to all the teachers saying this is anonymous. Why are you leaving? And teachers not in our school, has anyone reached out to previous teachers that have went to other school corporations and asked them, hey, why did you leave? I feel that would be the first thing to do. And then, like I said, the job fairs, go and reach out to these new students that are looking for a career. Does that answer your question? I hope so. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Just to piggyback on that, James.
Yeah.
We do have a housing shortage here.
Yeah.
And the mayor is working very hard to bring some development to our community because we need to have houses here in order for families to live here and students to go to our Greencastle schools. So it's a community problem.
Yeah.
But it's something that hopefully 4 or 5 years from now, our attendance is going to be better than it is right now, just because of the plans as far as the things that are being built and the future housing opportunities and that type of thing. But we
That's
have
good to
many.
know. I didn't know we had a housing shortage.
We have many people that work here that don't live here at the
Oh, wow.
factories. We have people that work at DePaul that would like to live here in Greencastle, but they can't find the right housing for them. So,
I did not know that. That is.
but
that
the
is
good
awesome.
news
Yeah.
is we got a lot of irons in the fire, and there are going to be a lot of exciting building projects and things happening in the next 4 or 5 years, which
Good.
will hopefully help our schools because it'll allow us to have more students. And obviously, we have room for more students.
Yes.
So, yeah.
That's good to know. I did not know we had a housing shortage.
Yeah.
I thought with the new apartments going over on the south side of town, we recovered.
Yeah. Question, and this is just a hypothetical, okay? You're on the school board, and you're at Kroger, and a parent recognizes you and comes to you and says, hey, I'm really having a problem with my student in this particular class with this particular teacher, and they start to tell you about issues and things that are going on, and they very well could be legitimate issues. It might not just be complaining and that type of thing. What's your responsibility in that situation?
So my responsibility in that situation, I believe, would be to listen. I'd listen to the parent. Like I said, I like to talk to people. I'd listen to their concern, but being that I'm a school board member and not a principal or a superintendent, I would talk to them. I'd be like, hey, this is how I'd approach it. I'd be like, give me the information. I understand that, but you need to reach out to the assistant principal or principal of your school and address the issue. Let me know if it doesn't get addressed, but you need to take it to the next level. If the principal or assistant principal doesn't take care of it, take it to the superintendent. I should not have to handle those types of things. I can listen, I can get the information, and I can do a follow-up down the road. But that goes back, in my opinion, to the micromanage. They need to take it to their principal or assistant principal and handle it at that level. And then if they're not satisfied going all the way to superintendent, give me a call, email me, whatever. But I will just ask the superintendent, did they bring this to your attention before I even address it with the parent? Yeah. It's not my job as a board member to deal with those types of situations in the aspect of, okay, I'm gonna take care of this. It'll be that principal or that teacher will be handled. No, that's not what we're here for. We are here to advise or govern the board, govern the superintendent, and the superintendent handles all that. Mm-hmm. I'll relay the information to the superintendent, be like, hey, this is brought to me. I'm handing it to you. I told them to refer to the principal and the assistant principal first. So I would communicate so they weren't blindsided, but then I wouldn't talk to that parent and try and handle that situation in that moment or even down the road. I would refer them to their proper chain of command.
Good.
For lack of a better word. Okay. But yeah, that's how I would handle it.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So you've touched on this a little bit, but I want to ask a two-part question and just give you a chance to directly talk about it. What do you think is the biggest strength of our school system right now?
Man. Oh, I have to think about that one because I would have to say the biggest strength, in my opinion, right now, being in the schools from Deer Meadow to TZ to Greencastle, I think the teachers. The teachers that we do have now, I think they genuinely care. The whole montage of family gets thrown around a lot, but I see teachers hugging kids, talking to kids, listening to their problems, staying after school and helping, whenever they're struggling in a subject. So I think our greatest strength is the teachers we have now. At Greencastle, I've been in the schools. I love our teachers. I can't say enough about them. Yeah. I don't think I've had one issue with any teacher. It's just they're awesome. Yeah. They're awesome.
That's great.
I don't think parents give them enough credit. I do say that because I've been in the third grade class and they have to deal with a lot.
Yes, they do. You probably know where this is going, but what do you think the biggest challenge facing our schools is right now?
Probably I would say, without knowing the specifics, I would say always money. If a school can't really pay its teachers, in my opinion, what they deserve or how they should be valued, then or they're not treated a way that they should be valued, they're going to leave. They're going to go to either a smaller school corporation for that family care atmosphere, or they're going to go for a better paycheck to be paid as they should. I think, I'd have to go with money. I think money across the board for education is kind of an issue. I know, at least at the prison, when I look at contracts, they always say that the things are built by the lowest bidder. Well, a lot of times that's true, because with a Greencastle, or not Greencastle, but with a school, they don't get a whole lot of funding, so they got to make do with what little they got. And I would have to say it'd be the money. It'd be the finances. Yeah, just receiving money. The budget, I mean, I haven't really heard anybody complain about the Greencastle's budget, but still, I think it's funds. It's funds.
Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
As you're well aware, we appoint school board members here, and I'm not sure if you're aware that there's like 4 or 5, maybe 6 corporations in the entire state of Indiana that have appointed school boards. So the rest of them are all elected. When you were at South Putnam, I was an elected school board.
Yep.
So how do you feel about potentially moving towards an elected school board for Greencastle schools?
Well, or
would you keep it as
I'd probably refer to you all on how to get elected. That's what I'd probably do. If it came to it, I said earlier that you don't have that outside influence of parents or hey, I voted for you. My kid's in this class. Can you? No, not that really happens, but I've been in favor of a voted school board before. But I think it's a double-edged sword. You get if you get the voting, in my opinion, I don't really want to say this, but sometimes you get the whole political sided type thing. If it's voted on, well, what party is he leaning to? What is his beliefs? Well, okay, he's not going to be a good school board member because he believes this. Whereas it's appointed, I'm a big person on merit. So if I come up here and you all think I didn't do well and I didn't sell myself well, I accept the fact because I need to work on that myself. If I'm voted, well, now I have to rely on those voters to, put me in office. And if, I lose, is it because I shared this meme or I believe this or these people know I side with this? if it's non-elected, it keeps the party out of it. It keeps the politics, in my opinion, out of it. I would hope that, whether a city council is one side or not, that they look at the merit and they pick the best candidate. And, but I do think that a lot of parents feel that because the board is appointed, they don't get a say in how their kids' education is directed. How I feel about that also is, well, the application was posted in the banner graphics, so put your name in for it. So I see both sides of it. As far as the way politics atmosphere is now, I prefer it to be appointed because then it can be based on merit, as opposed to, hey, who do you vote for? Because in education, in my opinion, that shouldn't matter. I mean, we're all taking care of the kids, we're taking care of teachers, and we're taking care of administrators. What does politics have anything to do with that? So.
Okay. Have you attended any of the school board meetings?
Sadly, no.
Okay.
So in order for me to be off the nights the school board was, I have to use leave. I'm not making an excuse. I haven't went. But at the prison, it's hard for me to leave unless it's approved. And for me to attend a school board meeting, it's on a day that I work, and I work. Not that you really care, but 10:45 to 8:15 at night. So it's a really bad shift, and I work up in Terre Haute, so I'm not able to make them. So sadly, no, I have not.
Okay.
I went to the interview. Now I will tell you this: I've watched, I don't know, probably 100 of them on YouTube. So I haven't attended, but I've watched city council and school board meetings on YouTube. So social media has been my saving grace, I guess you could say.
So if you are appointed, would that be an excused absence and you'd be able to get that time off?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make certain of that.
Yeah. I double checked that.
Okay.
I double checked that before I even submitted it.
Okay.
Because I knew that would be kind of an issue, but yeah. Oh yeah. I checked with that.
Okay.
Yep.
I think that we've had this question come up before, and I think that actually we're going to have our two school board representatives that we've appointed come to us in July. Do you see that there's a good benefit to that, to report back to the school, to your appointing body, to the city council, at least annually, if not twice a year? Would you be willing to do that? Well,
with us, yeah. I mean, so I look at it as, how I've always looked at it when I found out that it was appointed by the school or the city council was I don't want to use the term but it's delegated. I equate it to the Marine Corps. It's delegated to someone else with the responsibility to lead that group. The city council has a lot on their plate. They trust the school board to run this. They still need a situation report back on what's going on. It's not blind, hey, you got free reign, do whatever you want. It's, hey, this is what's going on, this is our plan, this is what's working, this isn't what's working. What questions do you have? How can we move forward? What concerns do you have? So yeah, I wholeheartedly, if it's appointed by the city council, then I would wholeheartedly expect to report back on what's going on.
Okay.
Does that answer your question? Okay.
Just about time. I think we have enough time for one more question. Are there any specific issues or topics that you want to address if you're elected to the school board?
I'd probably take a look at athletics, and once again with why kids are leaving our community. Now that I know, teachers are going to work at other school corporations, I'd look at that too. I have no problem calling up a former teacher and be like, hey, this is James Sprinkle. Why'd you leave our school corporation? Can we have a conversation? What can we do better for future teacher retention. I think that would be, those would be my main targets to look at first. The athletics, why do we have kids quitting sports? Why do we have kids not trying out for sports? Why do we have kids not participating? I understand social media, video games. Today's youth is a lot different in that aspects, but still, you know, why are kids quitting sports? Is it the coach? Is it, you know, the schedules? You know, what's going on? So it'd probably be why kids are leaving the school corporation, why teachers are leaving the school corporation, and why kids quit athletics. Those would probably be my target concerns. And always security of the schools. Security of the schools is always every time I go into the school, I had a mom ask me the other day, actually it was a couple weeks ago, she said, why do you pull the door shut behind you after it's already shut? And I told her, I said, because if I walk out of school and I didn't shut that door and something happens, that's on me, that's not on the school. So my big thing is security of the school as well. But I think everything, you know, from what I've seen is pretty much in place on that. But I would just always constantly, that would be a main concern of mine above anything else. And then it was the teachers and the kids. Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, when we were in school, you could leave the doors open at the end of the hallway.
Oh,
and breeze
man.
going through and everything else.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
Doors were open at the end so the breeze could come through and, yeah.
Yeah, that's before the days of air conditioning, too. So, well, James, is there anybody else that has a question to ask?
Thank you for
Thank
coming
you.
Thank you
in.
for
Hey,
coming.
I
Thank you very
appreciate
much.
it.
And James, I'll follow up with you tonight. It might not be till 9 o'clock or something, but I'll give you a call.
Thank you.
Thanks, James.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming in.
very much.
Yep.
Bye-bye.
You guys have a good night.
Thanks.
You too.
Thank you.
Yeah, enjoy your holiday weekend.
Yes.
We were talking about that today. When I was in high school, kids would still drive their trucks to school and they'd have their gun racks.
the gun
with
rack in the
gun with
back of the
shotguns
window.
in the back. That was, can you imagine that now? Oh, my gosh.
We had that at North Putt, didn't we, Ed?
Yeah. It's like everybody, yeah, it's not a big deal.
And you weren't scared, you just knew
Yeah.
Yeah,
it's them.
yeah. I was going squirrel hunting.
Yeah.
I feel like a couple years ago, one of the county schools, someone had that, but it became a really big issue.
Yeah.
Do you remember that?
Yeah, I remember that, yeah.
Think about too back in the day, you're pulling into a store and you're intending of doing bad things, and you go in and there's 50 pickup trucks with rifles and shotguns in there, you're probably just gonna pull back out.
Yeah, that's right.
Wouldn't that be nice?
I know, it's so funny. Times have changed.
Hey, Megan,
Hey, Megan.
come on in.
Oh, come on in.
We are on schedule tonight. That's
Kind of.
amazing.
We're
I
a few
know.
minutes behind.
Yeah. Uh-oh.
No.
You're going to be up there.
Yeah, we're going to have you up here.
Would it help if we dim
Yeah.
the lights?
Do you want to, yeah. do you
No,
wanna turn the lights
I'm
on?
good. Thank you.
Do you want to wear sunglasses? Well, that's how I get.
Megan, you know everybody here, right? I thought you did, or?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, thank you for coming in. We appreciate it. We just have, some of us got multiple questions we're going to ask you, just to kind of get your thoughts and your feel for, has it been 2.5 years you've been on the school board?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, good.
This is your first chance to be in front of us.
Yes. Yes, it is.
But I guess you're also coming in July? Is that what you said?
Yeah, it's probably going to be July. I have to firm it up with Catherine because she couldn't come in June.
Yeah,
So
she said she
I know we talked about it a little bit.
July, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, good deal.
Glad you're here.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, well, let's jump right in then. In your view, what are a school board member's roles and responsibilities?
Our roles and responsibilities is pretty much to stay out of the everyday going on at school, but to take a bigger part of the big picture and make sure that the superintendent is doing what he says he's going to accomplish, along with Becky as the assistant superintendent, and making sure that we are being fiscally responsible.
Follow-up question.
Sorry. Could you pull the microphone down, because we're recording the meeting? Thank you.
Follow-up question. 2.5 years ago, when this became available, what made you decide to want to get involved?
I had a lot of questions about what was going on in the schools and why it was going on in the schools, and the different avenues I was seeking didn't really give me clear-cut answers, so I thought I would just jump on board.
Good.
Can I bounce off of your question? Is that
Yeah,
okay?
go ahead.
Yeah,
Do you
go
feel
ahead.
like in the 2.5 years, do you feel like you guys have been fiscally responsible?
I do. I feel like we have built ourselves into a more comfortable spot than some schools are at this time, especially going into the future of not knowing where the state funding will lie and the drop in enrollment, not just in Greencastle, but everywhere. I do feel like we are in a better spot.
So I'll go ahead and go next. What unique values do you bring to the school board by staying on the school board? Or maybe in other words, what skills and experiences set you apart from the other candidates tonight?
I feel like I have a good understanding of the big picture and how good, positive schools also benefit the community, and it makes the community more attractive to people trying to move in. So I feel like I would bring that. Also, I'm a longtime Greencastle resident. I went through Greencastle schools. I also work in an environment where there's a lot of collaborative work being done, so I feel like I can work with others well. Even when we don't see eye to eye or we are not in agreement, I feel like we can still talk through our differences and still make a decision that's best for the school, not an individual or anything.
Thank you.
So as you know, being visible in the schools is really important for our school board members. And so how will you continue, being engaged in our schools and being seen?
I'm not only seeing a lot in the community where a lot of our school parents and students are, but I do like to attend the sporting events, the Christmas at Ridpath, the choir and music concerts. So I think the more you can be in the school and available, then I feel like there's a connection to the school community, the school board, and the administration.
What was your favorite event this year that you attended?
Obviously the sports that my son played. I think I have to say that. But the musical concerts, they're fantastic. And same with the choirs. Especially when they're in McAnally. The jazz soiree that Munoz has put together is really a neat feel. That's fun. And it's a good fundraiser.
Good.
Thank you.
As we look to the future, what is your vision for the school corporation?
I feel like we have made some really good strides with our testing scores, and I'd like to see that trend in the right direction. We have a fantastic facility, so we need to continue to maintain and showcase those, and just always being on the cutting edge with the Fab Lab and the Tiger Cub Collective. I feel like we're kind of ahead of the curve in a lot of places, so if we could just keep that momentum going, then I see us producing students who are ready for the next level of life, whether it's furthering their education or employment.
Okay.
That was your question, Mark. Can I add to that?
Yes, you
Is that
can.
okay? Sorry, I keep
Go right
jumping
ahead.
in. You were talking about, your last statement was keeping students here in the community. How can you do that? Like, what is your vision to do that? Like, how can we keep kids in this community and also keep teachers in the community? Like, attract students and teachers and people to be here?
That's kind of a difficult question right now. I feel like everybody always feels like the grass is greener somewhere else. But I think if we can continue to showcase and really show off what we do well, we have a lot of the dual credit courses coming up. We're working with IU. We have a lot of our high school teachers finishing courses that they need to be able to teach. And I know as a parent, saving money in college is important to me. So if my child can knock out some of those 101 level classes in high school, then I feel like it's a fiscal benefit for our family. So just keeping atop of the next thing.
And I have to say, as a community member, I don't know if you guys are follow Greencastle High School or Greencastle Community Schools, but I really feel like you guys have really stepped up your game that way.
Right.
It's wonderful to see that presence and all of the things that you're doing and showcasing that. That's really great.
We talked about it once, like at a meeting, and especially since the high school is working with internships. And I know when I was in high school, social media would not have been a job. But we all know right now it is one of the most growing professions that there is. So why not identify one or two high school kids that really have a knack for the social media and have that be their internship and really showcase the good things that we're doing.
Yeah.
Because if nobody knows it, then we kind of missed the buck there.
Yeah. Kudos to you guys. It's really nice.
I know several years ago, our test scores were not where we wanted them to be. And I know we had administrative turnover. Have we done better? And if so, what's the reason for that trend, and do you see it continuing?
I do see our numbers continuing to trend in a positive direction. I know that especially at the K-1-2 level and the 3-4-5, Becky's really worked with the teachers, and there's a lot of intentional learning and meeting the students where they are and bringing them to where they need to be. There's a lot of small group focus learning. I think that's really helped. And we adopted a new curriculum, and the curriculum was not just selected by administration, but it was a group of teachers that were able to preview it, learn it, try to teach it, and when they signed off on it, we felt like that was the right way to go. And it looks as though it was.
Good.
I have a two-part question for you. The first part, what do you feel is our biggest strength right now as a school corporation?
I think our biggest strength as a school corporation are the amount of co-curricular and extracurricular activities we have for the students. I feel like if we can get the students excited about something at school, that gets them in the door. Our attendance is up from last year and the year before that. And it's not just the typical clubs that we see now. We have like a ping pong club and a e-sports club. So I feel like
State champion esports.
State champion
exactly.
e-sport, yeah.
And then still we have the academic Super Bowl teams and band, choir, the athletics, of course, theater. So I feel like if you can find something that every student can connect with, it gives them a sense of community at school. And I think that makes a huge difference in their education process.
You probably see where this is going, but the follow-up is, what is the biggest challenge facing our schools?
I think our biggest challenge will be funding. We'll have to really walk that fine line of cutting back without cutting into some of the things that we're doing.
What do you think the direction is for the funding with all the changes at the state level and that type of thing? I mean, you said you're preparing for maybe the worst or what could be happening. Can you kind of talk about that a little bit? Because I think it's very important to figure out the possible options and things that could be happening.
I mean, okay, so even with like the little steps that we're doing now. Looking at enrollment numbers and, if one grade level doesn't need all the teachers, moving them to the next, like moving that teacher to the next grade level and not replacing that position at this time. So, I think we're paying attention to every little savings that we can in that respect. And then we're kind of getting the big things out of the way now that we know we will have to repair. So then it sets us up for success in the next couple of years that may be a little more lean, where we wouldn't have any money for the capital projects and some of the maintenance things. So we're kind of getting ahead of it now so we can ride the lean.
Potential
You're right.
financial problems that.
Right,
We
which
won't have to
is-
necessarily look at capital projects and.
We live in that world too.
Yes, we do.
So-
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Or, maybe they'll change it and we won't lose all the funding. We don't really know.
Right. So I noticed that you had mentioned in your questions, your questions and answers, that you feel like in the last couple of years you've grown into this position and developed the confidence. What areas of growth have you seen for yourself, and how's that?
I feel like I'm more involved in the meetings and the executive meetings and all that. At first, I was a little hesitant. I didn't really understand how it worked. I didn't understand exactly what our role was. And then I kind of went through an inquisitive stage where I just asked all the questions. And even if it felt like I felt like it was something I should have known, I was not, scared to ask it anyway. So, and I feel like I still do that today. So I feel like that was one path that I really have grown.
Okay. What do you feel like has been your biggest accomplishment while you served on the board? I know I'm asking you to kind of be, boast on yourself, but don't want you to feel uncomfortable about that.
I don't really feel like I have any individual wins. I feel like as a board, we've done some really great things. We've got the school resource officer in. We opened the new addition that connected the schools. We added a lot of co-curriculars. But I don't feel like any one of us did that. I feel like we as a team accomplished that.
Okay. And then kind of going hand in hand with that would be kind of like with Vince's question. Have you had any disappointments or things that you really, this fly's bugging me.
Everywhere.
Has there been any disappointments or anything you wish had gone differently or?
Can I come back to that? I'll have to think about it.
Okay.
There's nothing off the top of my head.
Okay.
Sorry.
That's fine. I know HR issues are difficult and cannot be discussed specifically. Get out of here. But how do you approach those issues? And I know they're sensitive and everything else, and most of the time they're, I think, always involved in executive sessions and stuff like that. But just can you shed some light on what you can share with us and the general terms?
The process is that when there is an HR situation, the person involved has a series of steps to go through with building level admin, and then central office. And then after that is when there is a meeting with the board where we are given all the information to review, and we discuss it and come to a conclusion and share that with the superintendent.
Okay. Vince, I think you kind of
Does
have
that
a
answer your
question.
question?
Yes, I think you kind of have a question that you wanted to ask in regards to something, not necessarily HR, but just, I think it was you, wasn't it? I don't want to put you on the spot there.
I don't know if I did, I'm forgetting it.
What was it?
I had a question, but I think we kind of covered it about attracting more students.
Yeah.
Hey, Megan, have you been in any spots, and don't give details, obviously, where You've been confronted by an upset parent.
Sure.
They know that you're on the school board. They want you to get involved.
Right.
What steps and how did you handle that situation when it happened to you? Because I'm sure it
I
did.
think the most important thing to do in that situation is make sure that the individual feels heard. You hear them out, you let them get everything that they have bottled up out, and then you direct them in the right direction. Whether it is a teacher level conversation first, then the principal, and then central office. And then I always reassure them, if you aren't getting answers, then please circle back to the board as a whole. But I think the most important thing is that they are heard, but also understand that I'm not the one that can fix it.
Okay. That was the question I was trying to get to. Sorry.
I'm here for you, Mark.
I was frantically looking for notes.
Can I compliment you on something? Preparing for this today, that was something that lots of people said about you, is that they feel heard.
I mean, I think that's all that people are really looking for. I mean, other than the answer they want. But they want to feel valued. They want to feel like you care what they're saying. They want to feel heard. And then, I have to explain that I'm not the one that can fix this, but I want this to be resolved. So don't give up. Go back to the teacher, principal, superintendent. And if you still don't feel like you're being addressed, then please circle back with the board as a whole.
Thank you for that. That's really important for teachers and administrators.
Yeah.
Where are you on the whole elected versus appointed board, since we're one of just a handful of corporations in the state that have appointed boards?
I have mixed feelings on it, and I had before. But after being on the school board, I believe that since all of the appointed school board members are appointed by elected officials, I feel like if we continue to elect the right people, then they will be making the right choices in appointments. So I feel like the process that we have works pretty well, and then it also gives opportunity to those who maybe don't have time to run a campaign to be eligible for appointment without having to, and especially now that you have to put a political party next to your name, I don't think politics really belong in the school board. And then also the agenda people that would run with one certain item that would get everyone to vote for them. But so I feel like an appointed, in our community, I feel like an appointed school board is a good choice.
Okay. Does anybody else have any follow-up?
Is there anything else you'd like to,
Oh, yeah.
that we didn't touch on, anything you'd like to comment on, or?
No?
Anything that you want to, issues or topics that you want to see addressed or anything like that, or over the next 4 years?
I think that we should continue to highlight our positive so we can try to get more enrollment, because more enrollment is more money, and that seems to be the going thing now. I think that we have a lot of really strong things going for Greencastle, and we're doing a better job of showcasing it. So if we can just keep going, then I think we'll be okay.
How many seniors are we graduating?
I just saw this.
Has it happened yet? It's next week, isn't it, or?
It's Friday
Tomorrow?
night. isn't it?
Okay.
I just saw the list and I can't remember.
I think there was like 118 in the paper.
I thought it was 118, but
Which
Yeah.
is up from last year.
we graduated
The last 2 years have been
98.
under
been
100
low.
the last 2
Yeah.
years.
Last year it was 98.
Yeah.
Good, so we're going in the right direction.
Yes.
Keep doing that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I have nothing else.
All right, well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
I hope you feel better soon.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Meg and I will give you a call later tonight, because we're looking to make a decision, so I'll give you a call, okay?
All right,
All right.
thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
My graduating class was in the 800s,
I know. That puts it in real perspective, doesn't it?
Where are you from again?
Chicago,
Okay, that makes sense. What part of Chicago?
the South Side.
Oh,
There was 4,200 students in my high school.
985.
So how long was the
Chicago area
ceremony?
too, right?
Honestly, it didn't feel that long, but I don't know. It must have been.
Right.
Yeah.
I know.
At least you were in the A's.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
maybe we left. I don't
Can I
know.
go now?
We might have.
What are you going to do? I've got my diploma. They'll probably open it up, it's empty. We're going to mail it to you.
I think they did, actually.
Eric, are you from Chicago too? Where's, which one?
Provides Reese's High School. Mainly, but I lived in Broad.
No. Yeah.
Somewhere, but it's between Oak Park and Oak Brook.
Okay.
And a Broadview.
Everybody seems to know where those are.
I know. I've talked to like Daryl Barnes, graduated from Brownsburg, where my two oldest grandchildren go to school. I think he said that his graduating class was around 225, 250, something like that. They're graduating 800 to 900 now per student.
Yeah.
Per class.
Started that way too. They probably
What?
graduate 50 kids.
Avon's big.
How many's Plainfield graduated this year?
Gosh, I don't know. I know like in the middle school, we have about 450 per grade level. Yeah.
So probably
6,
in
7,
that,
8, so probably about
probably in
that.
that 450 to 500.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's huge though.
Yeah.
Takes a long time.
Okay. Well, we've had two candidates, two good candidates. Thanks, Ed.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
All right,
Do you have any
thanks.
comments for us? Anything you want to say?
He doesn't want.
Not your seats right now. I have no doubt to make a strong decision for us. We can continue to do more.
Thank you
All
for
right, thank-
coming.
thanks, Ed.
Thank you.
Ed, see ya.
Bye-bye. So we've had, I thought we had two good candidates.
Well,
What's that?
should I ask if do we continue taping or?
I think so.
I think we have to.
Yeah.
It's open, yeah.
Let's do it.
Yeah. Yep. So I think we've had two really good candidates, and so I found it interesting that I put stars next to the elected versus appointed school board question and the chain of command. They both answered them pretty much the same, and pretty much the way that
Yeah.
I would like for them to be answered. I don't know if that's the chain of command especially. You know, I think that's important. That even someone that hasn't been on the board before knew, hey, I don't take this on personally myself. I direct it to a principal, to a teacher, I guess, possibly even, but if not a teacher, then the principal or assistant principal, and then on to the superintendent and central office. So, so that's good that they did that, so. I'll entertain any discussion that anybody wants to have in regards to either one or both of the candidates.
I like that they both, with Vince's question, they both addressed.
Can't hear you.
I know, I'm so quiet. I'm loud all day, and so when I come home, I'm like so quiet. I feel like a DJ.
On at 2 a.m.
I know. But I did like how both of them addressed a challenge in Vince's question, and that was funding. I like how they both brought that up.
Yep.
Because that's important, and I know just talking to community members and teacher feedback, that was a concern of theirs as well. Like, where are we going to get funding to continue to pay our teachers and get people here into our community and, pay them at a livable wage? And those are big concerns for people.
Yeah, between SEA 1, school choice vouchers,
Yeah.
and just the enrollment cliff, there's just no kids anywhere.
Yeah.
It absolutely is our biggest issue.
Yeah.
I serve on the redevelopment committee, and Megan comes and gives us an update every month. She's very thorough. And whenever we've asked her questions, she has had responses.
Yeah.
So I think she gets in the weeds. I think she takes it very seriously, and I don't think she, just shows up at the meetings. It was interesting to hear her say that at first she was kind of laid back, but then she realized she needed to ask questions to find out what was going on.
Yeah.
And I get that
She was
sense
drinking
from
from a
her.
fire hose is what she was doing.
Yeah, yeah. And the one thing that Megan said that stuck out to me was that she said, we need to get our students engaged. We have all these great programs, and she talked about Fab Lab, and she talked about a couple other things, and she talked about,
Tiger Club Collective.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's the heart of what our students need.
Yes.
They need to be excited about something at school, whether it's Fab Lab, whether it's, a specific,
We have an eclectic offering.
yes,
And that's really great
a lot
to
of
see
different
in a
things.
community.
And I love that she immediately honed in on that when one of you asked the question over there. And I feel like she has her thumb on the pulse as far as what's going on. But again, James was great, and I love the idea of fresh ideas too. But my opinion is, I think maybe Megan's just hitting her stride now and
I would agree.
going to be more and more effective every year that she is on the board. But having said that, I think James had a lot of good qualities that he would bring to the position.
I thought so too.
That's just,
The thing I do love about Megan is that she doesn't just attend sporting events. She is at everything. Like she's in the music department and the theater and the the academic events.
she's even been at our city council meetings, and I don't know why. I think it's to frame things would be my guess, and how everything fits together. She seems very community-minded to me.
Agree.
Yeah.
And the teachers love her too.
Do they? Well,
That's
good.
important.
Yep.
That's important.
That helps with retention.
It does. Yeah.
If you feel comfortable with board members and you feel like the administration's on your side.
They feel like
yeah.
they're heard.
Yeah.
One thing that James said that really stood out to me, and I wonder if, regardless of who we vote on tonight, if we can even maybe ask the board or our appointees to do this, is that idea of the exit survey for teachers.
I wrote that down too.
Especially if it was anonymous, and I don't know if legally we could maybe get the end-of-year anonymous, results, or at least the board get it, but I think that could be really valuable, and I was happy that he had brought that up.
Yep. I know, I almost gave that to Ed on the way out. I'm like, here.
Kathy, they don't do an exit interview?
I never had an
Really?
exit interview. Yep.
Yeah. So I don't know if we can at least ask our appointees to do that, even if we can't see it, maybe kind of make that a requirement.
Yeah.
If you want to be reappointed, please get this done, type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Also,
no,
I liked-
don't think we need to see it,
Yeah, fair.
I like that James talked about hosting a job fair here for, freshly graduated educators and things. Yeah, I like that idea. They should have the city representation too on that. I would love to help out at a job fair for our
Yeah, I'd go
community.
recruit people.
Yeah.
One thing I think Counselor Asbo brought up, but about Megan, was how teachers feel heard by her.
Yes.
And that kind of led me to another idea of maybe, again, as we are appointing people, asking them to formalize that process in some way. Maybe our appointees meet with the union quarterly or something, and make sure the union tells the teachers, just to make sure that we get both teacher perspective, but also where it seems like we're getting parent perspective, and it seems like we're getting the board perspective. But that might be something. I'm happy that you had brought that up, and happy to hear that Megan's doing that.
Agree.
So those are my two non-candidate specific comments that I wanted to make sure I mentioned.
Well, she came, Megan comes from, her father was
Teacher?
a teacher.
Yeah.
A very well-respected teacher.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, so, died way too young.
Yep.
But, and I think her love for the arts and the theater and those types of things come from her father as an artist and her mother was involved in the Playhouse. So,
Yeah.
so I think that.
Huh?
And city clerk.
Correct,
yeah,
that's right,
for 2
yeah.
terms. Yep.
That's right.
Yep. So, anyway, I agree with your comment about how, after 2.5 years, she's probably just hitting her stride. And so I think we had 2 really good candidates, and James presented himself very well. But I personally feel like, Megan would be a good reappointment. And so.
It actually made me proud to watch her tonight, and just how knowledgeable she is and how in tune she is with the board and the school community.
Right.
That it made my heart happy to know that she loves what she does.
Yeah.
I mean, it shows.
Well, I respect the fact that she looked at Ed immediately when
Like, can I?
the
can I
challenge
say
question
this?
came
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
Can I share this?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
Is this something I can share?
Yeah, confidential.
So,
Yeah, ooh, that's important.
Confidentiality.
Yes.
So,
Is it too soon to?
no.
Can we make a motion?
Anytime.
If I would like to make a motion to appoint Megan Inman to the board. I don't know if anybody wants to have more discussion or second that, but I think she's amazing and continues to work really hard for our community.
I think it would be appropriate if we had a second, and then we can discuss it even more.
I'll second the motion.
Okay.
Okay.
So, any further discussion that anybody wants to contribute towards? I think we've all kind of commented a little bit.
I just want to reiterate that I think James did really well.
He did.
Yeah.
And
Did.
this is not a reflection on him by any means.
No.
Absolutely.
No,
I hope
agree.
he ends up on the board one day.
I
There's
was
many
thinking the
different
same
paths
thing.
to get you
That's
there.
what- That was my thought was,
Yeah.
if we don't appoint him, is he going to get discouraged and say, well, I'm just never going to be able to get on the board, so.
I don't get the sense he gets discouraged easily.
I don't think so either.
I do think he has a future on the board, though, don't you? Like, he would do a really good job. And he had two really great ideas tonight. Yeah. I love that.
So, any other discussion, any other comments? If not, I'll call for all those in favor of the reappointment of Megan Inman as one of our two representatives to the Greencastle Community School Corporation Board of Trustees, signify by saying aye. Aye. Any opposed? Okay, any abstentions? Don't think so. All right, so I think we passed 4-0. We had that unanimous vote.
We did it.
We had to. That we were going to be voting again some other night. We had more people here, so.
Yeah.
Is there anything else on the agenda? I didn't.
No, that was it.
That was it, okay. So,
In honor of Daryl, I'd like to make a motion to dismiss.
let's go home or whatever.
Because he will say that.
I'll second that.
Yeah.
I see a second over there in the form of a raised hand. Okay. All those in favor?